Hello, hello, good evening. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? We're gathered here today to play some games, give some feedback, and it is the honest feedback stream. What we normally do is go through games which have been submitted on the spreadsheet. There's a form to submit games if you're ever interested in doing it yourself. There'll be a link there. But yeah, people have submitted their games there. We're going to get through three of them tonight. One by Geku, 1337, one by Tiagoprudente, and one by Sovsenko, or Sovkenko. I think it's Sovsenko, probably them. So yeah, three games on the menu, and because we've got three, we're going to get into it pretty much straight off today. I have done a tweet going on about this, so if you're interested in promoting the stream and have other people here having a look at your games being played, then feel free to like or whatever with that tweet. But yeah, let's get started. So in terms of the games, two of them are downloaded and one of them is a web-based game. Hardwork Simulator, I think we're playing that third, but just a heads up, a warning to people that oh, actually no, not Hardwork Simulator, my mistake. Let me just get the Take Your Meds, Darling. Sorry. One of the games that we're playing, I think it'd be the second game we're playing, has quite a lot of bright light flashing lights and some kind of trippy colors and that in there. There is a sensitivity warning on the game, so just giving a heads up to anyone watching the stream now to be aware of that when we get to the second game. But we're going to get started today. We're going to be playing the first game, which is going to be by Sovsenko, which is called Lovecrafting. So we'll have a little butchers at this quickly. So let me just get the game open and we'll start straight away. Thank you very much as well, Hotsy, for the subscription. I appreciate it. And you've done it for a whole year now. Wowza. That's a lot of time. Although it does feel like you've been about longer. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Okay. So, I didn't get a chance to play this during LD. I think Elisha Griffin did, but I didn't have that fortunate pleasure. So I'm coming to this completely new. And yeah, what was submitted with this form then on this game was the summary of the game is to maintain the stability of your Lovecraftian creature during a summoning ritual that's getting harder and harder. That is the kind of blurb of it. It was started being developed for LD49. So Sovsenko, if you could let us know in chat, is this something you're continuing to develop then? Have you worked much more on it since LD? And do you have any plans to try and get people playing it after LD? LD, for anyone who does know, Loot & Diary is a game jam that takes place twice a year. You can go to the website LD Jam to find out more about that. And it should take 10 to 15 minutes, but we always know with these things, it takes longer. So let's get into it and let's enjoy it. So you're working on it actually with a team of three, which is, so you are called the Nameless 13, but it's a team of three. You make it look like there's 13 of you with a name like that, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll forgive you. All right, let's get started. So start game. Hopefully the audio's coming through okay. I can hear it well. Hopefully everyone else can hear it. Okay, so we have a gem at the top that's vibrating around. My heart at the bottom right has just come up. And then we've got what look like cards here. This thing by here, I'm a little unsure of. It looks like it's going to make that go up. I wonder if different cards will have different things on the back, because it seems like quite a lot of detail on potentially the back of a card. But okay, so we're presented with three cards. There's a ritual. Someone trying to do a ritual to bring. This is a Lovecraftian creature then, which is. Are we the Lovecraftian? Yeah, you're Love. Okay, we're not, but they're ours that we're trying to summon. Okay. Ah, that's good to hear, Geku. Great, great. I'm pleased to hear. All right, let's just go on the left. Okay, so that put my heart towards the right. Okay, so it's either... okay, there's different amounts that it moves as well, right? So if I want to go far to the left, I'd press this one. And that would move it across there. Okay, it's now got a mouth. I'm not too sure what the cards are doing themselves, though. Okay, so now I have stomach as well. Okay, so we're probably going to get icons for stomach and that too. Okay, so as our heart is kind of in the middle, we just want a little push to the right. So when we burn a card, it's almost like we're, I don't know, using a ritualistic word, right? As part of the whole thing that's going to bring this creature. Right, so we got some stomach. But I don't know the benefit. Maybe you just have to choose. Ooh, what's this one? This is green. Does that just mean it does nothing? Oh, okay. It gives you a wider kind of red, a narrower red zone, I guess, on each side, which probably gives us a wider safe zone. Okay, it's got some wonderful tentacles now. The visuals developing in the back as you play is quite good. This, oh, okay, skeleton. So they both go to the right here. We'll just take the skeleton down a little bit. So for me at the moment, it feels like the cards don't have any purpose other than trying to balance these, which is a little bit... it almost feels like this should be the cost of playing a card or choosing an option, right? But maybe these aren't cards. Maybe I'm just interpreting it as cards. But yeah, skeleton to the right. Okay, immunity. So, oh, right, okay. I just realized. So, effectively, these are the things that make our creature, right? So, it has a heart, has a stomach, and it has a skeleton, and it will be immune as well. So, the text is clipped off a little bit there, just as a little bit of a feedback on the UI. And so, it's about choosing the best choice for you. And some of these are getting harsh now, these big ones. So, these are two small ones. I think we can probably get away with those. Oh, it's nice when you hover over it, it shows you those. I quite like that. So this will narrow the skeleton. I don't particularly want to do that at the moment. The heart one here is going to be totally fine for us to take up. Okay, and it now has a brain. Look at that glowing eye. It is cool how it's coming together. And I do wonder whether you've got different creatures each time you play it. That would be interesting to see as well. Or almost that the cards you choose are having some impact on what it's going to look like, you know? And whether or not there's some kind of end game to it in the sense of like that creature then does something. That could be an interesting development if it needs it. Okay, so narrow the skeleton. Stomach to the left. Stomach, that narrowed. Immunity. All right, let's go far right with the immunity. We can handle it. Okay, all of them are handling the brain at the moment, so we're going to go for the smallest adjustment because we're quite central. Okay, we're going up into this area now. Oh, okay, right. What's this? Okay, so we're into this new area, and now we've got a bunch of stuff. So is this where we say what type of creature it's going to be? I guess, is it going to be an abomination? Is it going to be a drowned? Or is it going to be a humanoid? So this seems to... Does this put everything back to the middle, but narrow everything? This will make everything go out, but narrow the immunity. And then drowned will take everything out, but narrow the skeleton. By the looks of it. We're going to try humanoid. Okay, so I think it's a humanoid. Oh, now we've got a timer. Okay, so this is where the more of the challenge comes in. Alright, brain. I should have taken all the time I had then to look at my other stats. Do we have anything that takes brain up? Yes, this is stomach down to the left. It's a long way for the old stomach to go. Yeah, we need stomach to the right if we can ever get one. Skeleton narrower, but the immunity wider. I don't think that's much benefit to us. Heart can go left a little bit. Oh, did I not choose in time? What happens when that happens? Oh, crikey, I don't know what happened. Okay, heart, we don't need that. Heart. Oh, man. Okay. Okay, so we're up to the next level, and now we got to choose. Well, we can't. The stomach can't afford to go any lower, though. We're gonna have to go for this nocturnal, because otherwise we're gonna run out. We need something that takes immunity to the right. That's good. Heart to the... Yeah, that works. This is a good one for us, I think. Other than stomach? Yeah, stomach. Okay, it's critical now. I don't know what that means. That is fine. We don't want that. We don't want that. There, we can shift that one across. We need stomach to the right. We don't have stomach to the right. We have brain to the left. That is probably the nicest one we got at the moment. You see this gem is shaking around still. Okay, we can take the brain out. That's just going to be a good card all round, I feel. We don't have stomach to the right, do we? No. So let's go with that. Stomach to the right is our highest priority. All of them go mysterious. Alright, we're just going to go for that. I don't know how that works. Is it? Okay, it just shifts all of the barriers a little bit. That's cool. Stomach, we can't afford that to go logo. Can that? No. Oh man, I don't know what happens when you don't choose. And we're having less time here, which is stressful. I've just got to choose something. We're close though. Stomach to the right we generally want, yeah? Okay, good. That keeps the stomach in the middle. Oh no, but we want immunity. Immunity to the left. Will this do it for us? No, skeleton will go in if we do that. Ah! I just had to click one quickly. Oh, look at his little legs. A beautiful creature. You managed to spawn an unnameable beast. Maybe next time it will be a god. So this was... or maybe that's not the name. So Thunala. Okay, so did I fail? I'm trying to work out. Because I felt like I got towards the top. But one of my things were in the weak bit. So maybe that's why it wasn't a god. Because I hadn't balanced them. Let me catch up on chat. So... I managed to spawn the creature. Oh, that's a positive at least. I guess we got that far. So we're currently at a very early stage. We're hitting our first new prototype during the week. Okay, that's good. Happy to get feedback on it from anyone else who wants to play it or give feedback after watching it. So after we finish playing, I invite anyone who's watching to go through the questions that I go through anyway to give feedback. The tentacle animations is very well done. It's a procedurally animated. Yeah, that is the buzzword in animation these days, isn't it? Not saying it's not a good thing. Gods require you to combine different traits. Oh, right. So you need to combine certain things that make sense for the gods. I don't have a good Lovecraftian kind of knowledge, but we'll give this another go. And I guess then it'll just give you a name, right? Afterwards, rather than saying it's unnameable. You don't get like additional gameplay. So yeah, I guess for me it feels like a little bit. I like at the start I was wondering, well, what's these cards is too easy, and then when the timer came, it almost felt too hard. It might be nice to just slow it in a little bit more. Maybe after the first kind of like 5 cards or whatever, then it. I don't know, because you're adding on the different body parts at that point. So I think you've paced that right. I just maybe just to be a little bit more generous with the timer in that mid phase, perhaps. Yeah, that was my first impression at least. And I think what I need to do is hover over the cards and just look at the arrows, maybe, instead. What's in this compendium? Ah, these are the different gods that you can make. Oh, wow, okay. Oh, that looks like a severed baby head. Let's try another go, shall we? Oh, you need to disappear. I was gonna say. Okay, so heart. Let's make the heart larger, or more room. That sounds good to me. Go a little to the left. Okay, we got many mouths. I like the looks of this. A little to the right. Balance that out after earlier. Yeah, we'll go that way again. Just a tiny bit. Now we got skeleton as well. There's the little tentacles coming to life. The heart is already quite a bit, so I'm going to go back a little bit. Oh no, not pack a bell cannon. You find that in everything. Or in many different pieces of music. It's a very, very common. You find that kind of progression of notes. Okay. So we're still good for time at the moment. I feel they're all pretty bad though, but the heart is wider, so we can bring it back down as well. Stomach is in a fine place at the moment. Skelly could go a little to the left. Heart can go... Yeah, let's go Skelly to the left. Oh, look at these eyes. It's like a snail's eyes. Beautiful. That's going the wrong way for us. So we just wanted to go smallest amount. Ideally, we want skeleton. A wider would be good, but this... No, yeah, that were... I think always go for those. It seems a safe bet. Okay, so this time we're going to... I don't know what pale... Does that mean like it's undead? Like skeleton and that? Oh, we went humanoid last time. I'm guessing these are like associated with the type of creature that it would be. So 2 of them make immunity go down. One has a larger stomach, one has better immunity. Let's go Abomination. Oh, okay. So this time we can take immunity up with that. That sounds a good shout. Skeleton to the right, that's a good shout as well. I'm going to try and just like hover over. Heart to the... No. Stomach to the... No. Alright, stomach to the left, it looks like we might be at the moment. We could do a stomach to the right, we don't have that. No, that's not very good for us. A little bit to the right, we'll handle that. Okay, now, what was it? Abomination. Bloodthirsty? There, let's go for that. Brain is really narrow now as well, so we need to be careful with brain. Oh, we can't do that then. I think we're gonna go for this one. Look how big the stomach is at the moment. Heart, we can't go for that. Stomach's got loads of room for that. Is the skeleton? No, that makes it narrower. This is gonna take our immunity back into the good place. That was a nice one. Immunity to go up. Skelly can go. Stomach can go. Okay, yeah, that one seems okay. Stomach goes smaller. We can handle that probably. Brain can go bigger. Skull go to the right. Yes, let's go for that. Our brain's a bit narrow at the moment. Okay, and now we're going to be Abomination Bloodthirsty Hunter. Let's go for that. Oh, I don't know which one did it choose? I don't know. Do I get another choice? I didn't get a third one. That's a... Yeah, I don't know on those faces. Like, does it still need to be timed? Because now I'm aggravated. I'm not looking properly. No, we can't. So if you don't choose one, I don't see the negative to it at the moment. Uh-oh. You managed to spawn and then... Oh, it did take that. It just didn't put it, I think. You managed to spawn an unnameable beast. Maybe next time it'll be good. So this was Lalehako Elna. We'll go with that. So yeah, it seems like a little bit of a bug with that. I'm not too sure whether it included it, but I like how this creature is different each time. So it's a nice touch. It makes you want to kind of... It makes it more incentivized to kind of play again. Let me take a moment and try and think. Yeah, so I guess it kind of feeds into that timing. Like if the incentive of or the kind of key bit of the game at the moment is trying to build these kind of old gods based on traits, I kind of want time to think about them to see if I'm going in the right direction. But at the moment, the time pressure that comes on them makes it harder to do. I understand why the time pressure's there though, so it's not definitely like wrong, but it's a bit of a negative experience at the moment. Because I kind of want those bits. I kind of want it's more like planning then, right, rather than the kind of timed reactive bit of the game. I was also curious during that. I don't want to say it because I couldn't concentrate on two things at once. Whether like how the AI works in this in terms of providing cards, whether it's purely random or whether there's always a choice that isn't going to kill you. Yeah, that, or is there, it maybe you don't always get a choice that isn't going to kill you, but it does try and give you choices that will help you get back into the right Because I'd imagine you'd have to have that balance. Otherwise, it's going to be a pretty terrible experience. Like, oh, 50, you know, it'll be hit or miss whether or not it's fun. Let me have a little scan through the chat. We're currently working towards adding depth to the gameplay without losing the simple game feel of it. Giving the player more control about which creature they want to summon. Adding a bit of a macro loop and more content, of course. We're aiming towards a tree of traits you navigate in and rework different attributes. Okay. So effectively, it's like a resource management game, right? Skinned in this cool style that you've gone with the Lovecraftian kind of creatures being the kind of theme that you're working on. So it's kind of resource management, but with like almost like a cookie clicker, but one with time kind of restrictions to make it more of a challenge, and two, you can die if you don't do it right. So it's not like an infinite unplayable game. You're heading towards this end goal. So it's an interesting dynamic. I think that it is quite simple when you think about it in terms of fleshing it out. If the gameplay is going to be kind of the same but like more detailed, then it is you know, it's not that what the player does isn't that different, but at the same time it'd be interesting to see whether it can get to that point where it's more where you could play this more than like 5 times or something, you know. It'd be interesting. Palette Killers reminds me of another game. Papers, Please. A tree of traits could be a good idea. Question at the end: is this creature named? Is the name of the creature procedural, or do you have a set dictionary combining random syllables? Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. The name is cool at the end. All right, let's give this one more go then, I guess, and then we can, as a group, if anyone else in chat wants to get involved, we can give some more feedback. All right, and like the clouds going apart and that as the night goes is cool as well. When you go back to the title screen, there's no like fade. I think I can accidentally still see lightning here, but shh, it's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about that. Okay. Min-maxing. Okay, it's much of the same here. Let's go right. There you go. Heart increase. Pow. Give it to me. Stomach is in town. Oh, look at that mouth. Ah, stomach increase. Now we're talking. Strong start. We could have done with a heart movement, but we'll go with the stomach movement. Things that go left we kind of need at the moment. So that. We'll go with that. So we can get the heart further again. Haste the heart to the left. That seems a good option at the moment. Okay, so last kind of 3 ones coming up now. We either Skelly left or Skelly right. We're going to go Skelly right. Because I remember we kind of want to go left with 2 of them. Then it's easier for me to remember when the time pressure starts coming in. Okay, heart can go far that way. Immunity for... This seems a horrid one. But these are both nasty too. I don't want to shrink my stomach. We're going to try and avoid it. Now that we've still got some time. Oh, look at the eyes. Okay, so immunity is one of the things we need most to bring back. We'll bring the skull up, though. Immunity. Not there. Blast. It's a bit of a shame. Is this what we go for at the moment? Oh, that was close, wasn't it? Okay, so... Stomach has been expanded already, so going a bit smaller is not the end of the world. Our heart has gone huge already. This is going to help us get to the end, right? Because our immunity is close to going and our heart's already huge, right? So let's go fungal. That should help us survive a bit longer. We need this to the left. That would be a good one. I'm just going to take some time to think what else we need. We need heart to the right. Heart to the right. Okay. Heart right. Okay, we got none that go heart to right. Scallop, Brain left. No, brain right. We got brain right there? Okay, let's... It's not good for the heart, but we'll have to just try and get this heart back in a bit. Okay, that's not good. Oh, the whispers have stopped now. Immunity can go that way, stomach can go that way. I mean, this one is a safest bet, but we just need to get heart all the way. Okay, this is good. Stomach a bit smaller. It's gonna cause problems for our stomach, but yeah, we're gonna try and bring our stomach. What have we got? So a vermin, like a fungal rat. Okay, brain going to the right is not is quite good for us right now. The others don't seem like they're gonna work. Look at the cool creature in the back. It is nice. Brain this way. No, that's not so good. That'll be okay. Stomach to the right. No, we can't do that. It's got to be this one in the middle. Heart can go bigger. Stomach to the right. No, 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 no. I mean, this is an easy bet. I'm just making sure there's nothing better for us. Where's our stomach to the... No, we're desperate for us. Stomach. Oh man, that's huge. Let's go for this. Okay, so we've gone vermin, fungal, vermin. Let's go reptilian. Okay, stomach to the left, please. One of them. No. That I chose it without really thinking, just because time was. Yeah, there's no time. It's so short. This time. Stomach has been going this side. We've been wanting it for a while, but it, oh crikey, it's messed up the brain. Brain to the left. We don't have any brains to the left. Ah, I don't know. I just it all happened too fast. But I did finally bring a god to the world. Abenorth, an unclean source of all the disease of all worlds, have come to life. It's a god, ladies and gentlemen. Do the gods always end up looking in the same graphic style? That would be a nice little thing. So if I do the Abnon again, Abnoth again, it would look like that. But it'd be difficult to make the leading up bits match, I guess. I'm not too sure the right way to do it. So I did try to choose traits that I thought would go together. I felt Reptilian didn't especially go well with these, but it made more sense than the other ones, at least. So let's go to the feedback then, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Look at this. We've got a new fancy, a new scene, where we can go ahead and chuck open the questions that we normally ask as we go through and give feedback on these games. So, Uno Maestro, indeed, that game Alicia was playing was very sad, huh? I will read up on some questions that have been said in chat, but we'll just go through explaining how I normally do this. So, first off, don't take critical feedback as a personal attack, please. I hope I don't have to keep saying that, but it's always safer to make sure people know that that's why the feedback's been given, is to try and give you feedback, not to kind of hurt your feelings. Just sharing my opinion on it, and if you're making a game for other players, you want to hear what players' opinions are. So we're going to be looking at accessibility. So are there barriers that restricts the player from experiencing the game, controls and difficulty, gameplay. What is the gameplay loop? Why play your game? Challenge, balance, variance, choice. Audio or visual? What's the overall quality of art and audio assets? Is audio being used creatively? Player experience. Is the game fun or engaging? Is the game an original experience? Is the idea innovative? And then finally, future development. Areas of strength, areas for improvement. Who would be interested in playing the game? That's kind of what we're looking at now. So I'll give people just a moment to check those out. I'll go and grab myself a drink. And I'll be back in just a moment now. Okay, so a couple of things that were asked in chat then earlier. So Sovsenko asked, what would push you to play further, in your opinion? So that's something that we can look at when we look at the gameplay loop. So we'll address that on the second question. And Gecko had some advice, some feedback as well. So let's have a look at this. So If I can give my own opinion, at this stage the game is really interesting. However, I'd like to hear or read a storyline, a creepy tale like Lovecraftian or Poe novels, changing environments, adding some new features. It could improve gameplay to become something very addictive. Okay, so that's their take on it. Due to the scope of the game, if we have add a storyline to it, it would need to be a short one. Is that saying the scope going forward as well? It's not something you want to work on for like 6 months to a year, is it? It's something that you're looking to try and wrap. If you can just explain why you mentioned that, that'd be good. All right, let's go through these questions then, shall we? So first off, accessibility. Is there any barriers that get in the way of people experiencing the game? No, I'd say the main thing I've drawn on already, which is the difficulty when the time pressure starts coming in. It makes sense considering it's the full game, so the more times you play it, you do want to have to rush those decisions, and you got to take a bit of an educated guess sometimes, see one stat and hope the other stats are okay. But I guess because each playthrough is the same difficulty, it then becomes the first times is too challenging, and then eventually it might get too easy. I'm not too sure. So I guess that's one thing to consider in terms of replayability there. In terms of the controls, though, it was pretty straightforward. I knew what was going on. In terms of controlling it, I just had to click on things, right? I liked how I could hover over stuff and it'd point at the stats that it was going to change. That was good as well. I would say that most of the UI stuff was communicated well. Yeah, most of the UI stuff was communicated well. I guess the things I didn't properly know was like what happens when I go into the red. And then I was in the red. It was like, does that mean if I finish in the red, something's wrong with it? Or is it just like that's the danger zone? I didn't quite understand the purpose of the red. It seems like the whispering stopped when I went into the red. And I don't know what that meant. So that's something, I guess, where there's some communication to the player that they might wonder what's going on. But it didn't really get in the way of it. And even though I felt under pressure of time, I was still able to complete the experience that you've got at the moment. So, yeah, in terms of accessibility, it's pretty good. The gameplay. What's the gameplay loop? Why play your game? Challenge, balance, variance, choice. Okay. Oh, one thing I want to say is these cards. So, like the cards that the choices you have, I almost thought it was like a back of a card and I was going to turn it over. But if that is the whole card, I don't know if you want to try and use the space more to... I know you've got it so you can have 3 stats in a row. But I don't know if there's a way to go a bit bigger on the art for it, you know? I'm not too sure the right way to do that. But I just felt, at one point, I felt like it was a back of a card. And so, yeah, I'm wondering if there's ways for you to kind of make it feel a little bit more flamboyant or a little bit more fancy, for lack of a better word. So, some feedback on that red zone, as Sosenko was saying. The red is the danger zone where the game over resides if you stay in it too long. That wasn't clear. Yeah, I'd agree that wasn't clear. I felt I was in it quite a long time. But it was only for one stat, maybe, so it might be balanced for if you're in a few red zones for a while. I'm not too sure. But okay, so let's go back to that gameplay loop. So the gameplay loop at the moment is you play the first bunch of stats, getting all of the like the stomach and that. That bit is fine, but I guess once you've played it a couple of times, that's almost the easy bit where you don't really you're hoping to get some nice cards to expand your kind of areas, right? And then you get to the bit where you start to specialize, and that's, I guess, where the first bit you can choose what kind of monster you are, right? So that's interesting from a point of view of, one, you can min-max the stats, because some of them are like, let's say you've already expanded your heart, and then the character will minimize your heart, and you think, well, I've already balanced that already. So there's nice decisions to be made there. And there's also from the perspective of trying to unlock all these different monsters. But what's the real reward for unlocking the monsters, other than the fact it comes up and gives you a bit of story about it? So that's the challenge that you're going to have, is like how do you make someone want to repeatedly play it when the gameplay is likely going to be pretty similar between playthroughs, right? Other than the 3 points where you choose, I want it to be this type of creature, and this type of creature. They're the important bits for you to kind of explore the game's content. So, yeah, I think you'd almost feel like you'd want to make... I don't know, if somehow, depending on what specialization you go, that the gameplay changes a bit more. That could make it interesting, because that makes people want to play again and try a different specialization, like Reptilian. Then maybe that introduces new cards into the deck that does new things that makes it a bit more interesting. And that could give some strategy to it. If Reptilian cards happen to do... Maybe one of the Reptilian cards is like, oh, it'll reset your stat back to 0 in the middle, for example. So that might mean for someone who's playing and they're far on one side already, they might choose to go down the Reptilian route just to kind of bring things back to the middle. So it gives you a bit of a way to kind of strategize based on your existing knowledge of your game, which will increase someone's likelihood to want to replay it, I guess, right? So that's one kind of positive spin on that as well. But if we look at like challenge, balance, variance, and choice, I guess we kind of addressed the challenge and the balance already. With the variance as well, we've addressed that a little bit, saying that gameplay would be a bit samey. Now, in terms of choice, this is where it comes down to the AI in terms of how well it deals you cards. Because if you're getting meaningful choices and you're intelligently giving players cards which are difficult decisions, then that would make your game feel better. But the one caveat to that is you need to make sure you give them enough time to realize that they've got a difficult decision. Because the start of the game at the moment is kind of... You push for time and you may not even realize that one option was a really good one. I will put the video up on YouTube as well afterwards, so you'll be able to watch this back. So feel free to write stuff down, but you can watch it back if you miss anything of what I've said. Okay, next question then. So the audio-visual. Overall quality of the art and audio assets, is it being used creatively? So first off, the creatively. What I tend to mean by that is, like, are you using sound to kind of give some feedback to the player or be a bit of a mechanic in its own right? And not every game has to do it. It's just something to consider sometimes. It's often an overlooked thing. I think one thing you've got is the whispers, right? And the whispers did seem to go off when I went out of the red zone or into the red zone. I don't know if that was just a coincidence or maybe it's intentional. And so, like, that's kind of creative in the sense because it's giving you feedback on that you're in, something has changed, so you should pay attention. But yeah, that's one thing. I think another thing, I think your music and your sky and everything changes the more the ritual goes on. I think that's quite nice that you've got this kind of progressive building up of atmosphere based on the art and the audio. There was a couple of things I pointed out. Like there was a bit of like a lightning glitch at the back. The UI didn't quite fit on in one bit, I think. I also noticed at the end of the game it does show like a star sign in the sky. Like the last one was more of a straight line. I don't quite know what that means, but I'm curious about it at least. But with all that said, I would say the music and the art is very top tier. It's lovely, really nice, really nice. I'd like maybe if, I don't know whether they would, with some form of mechanic in the game that you would have more summoners come in, So that could be something that builds up as well. And maybe that gives you an extra card that you play or something along those lines. I'm not too sure how you can tie it in thematically. But that would feel like this world's building up a little bit more around you. But I think you've done a great job of that already. And then player experience. Is the game fun or engaging? Is the game an original experience? Is the idea innovative? Okay, so I would say it's innovative. I haven't played a game like this before. And I would say it was an original experience as well. In terms of fun or engaging, I was engaged the first few times I play it. In its current state, I don't know how long it would keep me engaged for. And this is where we really need to try and think about the future development of it, I guess, to address that. So let's go straight to that. So areas of strength at the moment is originality, cohesion in terms of the art style, the music, the atmosphere, everything kind of goes well together. And it's something that makes the player a bit curious, right? Because not everything's explained. There's no massive tutorial, which is kind of nice sometimes, right? But there's things that aren't explained, which makes players want to explore it. So you've got those kind of things going for you already. In terms of improvement, there are other things that aren't explained at all, which are very important to the game, like the game over condition, for example. So there's a bit of improvement needed in that area. But we need to try and think about how we can flesh this out to be a bit more reason to come back into it. And I guess like one thing that comes to my mind would be, would this phase, this thing when you're summoning, be like your activity that you do between some other game element? So let me elaborate on that to try and give a bit of context. Think of something like Slay the Spire. In Slay the Spire, you're moving around a world or a map, and then when you get to a map point, it comes up with a card game, and then you play a card game to fight the enemy, and then you win, and then you go back to the map and you carry on. So imagine if somehow in this you came up with a way where this kind of card game element where you need to choose and balance the stats is something you need to do every like 5 minutes or every few minutes or so. But then there's breaks from that, and there's like a long-term game that you're working towards. So whether you need to move around the world to different places to summon these gods for different reasons, for example, or whether you're kind of leveling up as a summoner, and maybe these gods will go off to fight in some combat arena or something, I don't know. Or maybe there is some element of combat with what you end up crafting up. I'm not too sure. But if you could come up with something that would give it a reason why you're doing it and why I'd want to do it multiple times, with some form of like long-term progression between it, to make me feel like carrying on over and over and over is slightly more valuable than just playing for the first time 4 times. So yeah, other than that, I don't have particular specifics, because I'm not too sure how you could flesh it out to be a bit more deep. But I'd be interested in seeing what you guys come up with. I mean, ultimately, you three are working on this, and your brains are on it a lot more than the 30 minutes that I've had on it now. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it changes, and do feel free to keep us posted, or tag us in a tweet or something if you end up making some developments and want to just show it off. It'd be good to see. But does anyone else have any feedback or questions before I wrap up on this game? Now is the time to ask. Also, Geku was saying earlier about storyline stuff, like a castle, a placid lake, London at night, and a storyline. If you need a test of feedback, you are on Twitter, let him know. No, that's nice of you, Geku. Cool. Alrighty, so I think we're probably done for this one. So we will move on to the next game. We'll move on to Geku's game next. This one, again, I do give a warning that it is a photosensitivity warning. So if you're epileptic or have any kind of sensitivity to bright colours, flashing lights, weird patterns, changing fast, then probably best you skip the next half hour or so. But okay, let's close this and we'll move on to the next game. Thank you very much as well for being here, developers. It was good to have a little chat. Okay, so the next game is called Take Your Meds, Darling. So just a little bit of a pretext on this one then. So any feedback would be appreciated. The first release has been done during the LD49, and you ranked 90, which is, you should be really pleased with that. That's good. Now you're working on a better version with more mechanics, playing with the non-Euclidean levels. Portals. Oh, non-Euclidean. We had this in... I'll finish the sentence and then come back to it. Playing with the non-Euclidean levels, portals, gravity, player size. The main gameplay drops the player into a strange and disturbing universe. But this is not a horror game. Instead, it's a mind flip project. Okay, interesting. Yeah, the non-Euclidean reminds me of when we played through the Grumpy Game Devs Explore game, where it was a non-Euclidean dungeon and I forgot what that meant. And I was trying to draw a map. You can destroy it because I have changed everything in the new version. You got a first release which I made for the latest LD. What do you mean by destroy it? Sorry. I downloaded this before stream today, based on the link that you gave. But let's give this a go. Oh, destroy it as in I can roast it or whatever. Did you not want to submit the most recent version then, so that we could see how that's going? And yes, I tend to be happy to be honest most of the time, so don't worry about it. You shall have valid feedback. I'm pretty sure I launched the game. Is it going to launch? Okay, so at the moment I'm double clicking this and it's not doing anything. Let's have a look if it's in here. Have you had any issues with it hanging when it starts? Okay, so it has launched, but it just hasn't shown up on the screen. Let's just end the task. And try it again, I guess. If not, I wonder, is there a browser version? If not, no, there isn't. Okay. Try this one more time. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your game, unfortunately, but it's not launching. I run it, the executable comes up here. But it's nowhere on my taskbar. You can see me alt-tab in here. I don't have a window for it. I'm not too sure why that is. Let's have a look in here. Let's try windowed in case there's something weird going right there. Yeah, oh, is it finally showing? Okay, it just took over a minute to launch. I do not know why, but I'm glad that we got it running at least. Let's just go with it. Very odd. Okay. So, we are, maybe it's all part of the game, right? Right, Gecko? Okay, so the game is called Take Your Meds, Darling. Press return to start or press escape to quit. A weird trip in a mentally unstable mind. Again, photosensitivity warning. Thank you. Okay. I'll crack it. Okay. This is very trippy. Look how like the wide field of view as well. I hope it doesn't make me feel sick. Something I would say that the way that OBS captures stuff means that you're not quite getting it exactly how it should look. For example, you're on this cube over here, you're seeing like little patterns, little circles. There are no circles on it. It's just all dots. But yeah, based on the way that OBS renders, you might see some kind of artificial glitches and that. Okay. This is definitely gonna be a bit trippy, isn't it? Okay, lots of colors up there. We can't jump up there. I like this stuff moving over the walls and that. I like how like the corners of the walls are even moving as well, which is interesting. This floor looks great as well. Okay, this seems... Oh, was that the red pill? I guess that's our objective, right? So I think it's the idea that as we take our pills, it changes the reality around us a little bit. Yeah, okay, now look at this room. Holy Batman. Okay, so did it change the whole level rather than just change where we were? Is it? Oh, there actually is a cube there that you don't see until you're close to it. It's interesting. And this corridor looks like it... Yeah, it does get wider every so often. Yeah. We have the famous scream. Nice use of audio there when you got close to it as well. Okay, so now we're back in the same room. Okay, so it added layers. That bit feels quite good. I don't know whether it just like took us around a different way. But it was interesting to feel like, oh, maybe I'm not going back there, but then I actually did end up back in the same place. Okay, so we got another red pill. Thank you as well for not putting the sensitivity super high. Oh, we haven't tried jumping up here, have we? Oh, there's an Illuminati thing on the wall now as well. Yeah, that's not going to get us up. Oh, hold up. Uh-oh. What happened? Oh, what? I can jump from wall to wall. How did I do that? Is that through clicking this that I did it? I don't even know how I did that. I feel like I'm meant to go this way. Yeah, it's difficult to the codec stuff with these sort of weird graphical things going on, but... Hey, Backreg as well. Nice to see you in Una Maestro. Of course it does. Okay, we got a new one. So now let's go... Oh, we got a new one again. Got all of the pills. Okay, so that's opened up over here. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's all in my head. Okay, so is this gonna hurt me? Let's try and not jump on it. Okay, I landed on it anyway. So there's a little like green square that came up earlier when I looked at the kind of Illuminati triangle thingy-majiggy, right? That was the one time I could press something. And I pressed it and then I started climbing on the wall. Okay, this is cool. This looks like a church kind of window, you know, stained glass. So I like that. I also like that the seams are joining in as well. Or yeah, it's kind of passing one to another, like the colours. It's nicely done. Oh, hello, butterfly. So it's close to making me feel sick, but it doesn't quite make me feel sick. Like I can feel ill in some games, like with motion sickness. Sea of Thieves, I once had to lie down after playing it for a bit. Okay, so we got one of those, and then there's another one through there. Is it an infinite amount of them? I don't think it is, but no, there's definitely quite a bit to go that way, though. Oh, it is, though, isn't it? Yeah. Now, I'm interested how you achieve this. If it is actually, like... It looks like you spawn a new one down there, so, okay, that would probably be how you do it. I think when you jump through, you can see the door, yeah, of the next one coming in. It's still cool, though. Then do you have to spawn all of the other bits as well? So are these pills? Well, I think I connected to it. I got a pill anyway. Hey, core activities, community games in general. If someone can do ! feedback. So this happens to be games that were made in LD, but the way I do this show, if you will, is it's anyone who's making a game with the intention of developing, like releasing it and publishing it at some point. I don't particularly want to play like finished Game Jam games that you're never touching again. the more intent is to give people feedback while they're working on an active project. They're the people I'd like to be submitting games. After that, there's a separate segment I do where I do interviews with people who stream on Twitch who've published games as well. So we've done a bunch of those now. I think we're coming up to around 10 of those we've done, where we've had interviews with the people who published the game, and then we play the game for like an hour afterwards as well. Okay, so now that we're going to try and go through here back again and see if things have changed. Because we did get a little noise. Okay, we got... Okay, so see that green? Okay, I could right click to move. Okay. This should... It's right click to pick up, left click to drop. I could have accidentally missed that button, by the way. That, like, I could have just pressed E and clicked on it rather than right click. So the controls there is just something to be aware of. Okay, so now let's take this with us. It could be handy. I like how there's a visual, something to tell you that you can interact with something though. Okay, so that still seems to be looping at least. Let's take this back and see where it takes us. Thank you, Partly, by the way. Hello? Have my eye. No? Okay, don't have my eye. Oh. Hello? Okay, so I don't think we're meant to go this way then. Making sure that they weren't like interactable. No. Oh, what the? Okay. We're now here. That'll do. Is that another one that's going to let me change like what wall I'm walking on, I wonder? Don't know how to crouch unless it's C. No, okay, you can't crouch. So I don't see an obvious way unless we like start falling that way. Yeah, this is the room we were in earlier. Oh man, it's weird if I start turning my camera that way. So we're like on the same room, just different perspective now. Okay, let's try and think about it. So I've selected that, so maybe it's open back where I was. Forget the cube, you're saying that I won't need to use it. Okay, well I think this opened now. Oh, crikey, this room looks hideous. Oh, we're back in here, what? But this is another one of those cubes that doesn't show until you're close to it. So, this just took us back through, if I remember right. There wasn't any other path I could go there, no. So let's go this way. I'm getting mild nausea from this now, but... No, this is still... This is still balked. Not balked, but not open. Okay, so that just leads us back into this room. So let's go a different way out of this room, shall we? We can't get to that pill, which is a shame. I just want to double check that I can interact. Oh. Can't interact with you either. Okay, I feel almost a little stuck, actually. Oh. What? How am I now small? How can I go through here now? I don't know. I don't understand what was different. Maybe, is the world like stretching and shrinking? Or is it, I think it's just the shader, right? Oh, is it literally you gotta wait? Or have I gone smaller due to something? When I took the last pill, probably. Yeah. Okay. That is still there. This is back here. So now, yeah, we can change. We're now on that as our base. If we had the cube... Oh, crikey, we fell. If we had the cube, we may have been able to do more. These rooms feel like you can get lost in them. Although, can you reclimb back up? Yeah, you can. I guess that would change that. Oh, wow. Game over. No, I'm not listening to you. Oh, it is. Sadness. So, was that game over due to that was the end? No, there's no cure to it. The pills will just like prolong the point until you can't take it, or did I go the wrong way? You just let us know on that, and we'll prepare to start giving some feedback to this. Let me jump over to the other scene. Okay, so get some questions up on the screen, and we'll start going through some of these. But yeah, I just want to make sure. I'm happy because you did not notice portals even when you changed your size. I don't know what portals are to notice them, if I'm honest with you. Oh, as in do you mean the portals as in each time you change? So I didn't notice the... Oh, so is it teleporting me to a new thing when that happens? Is that what you mean by portals? I think I get where you're coming from. I'm assuming that is the proper end of the game as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll start giving some feedback on it. You're welcome to carry on explaining as you go along. So the same questions as the last time. If anyone in chat wants to give some feedback on this as well, do feel free to write away in chat. We're giving feedback with the purpose of helping them understand what people think when they see and play the game, as well as trying to provide ideas for what we think would improve their game. And then it's up to up to the developer whether they want to take that on board or how they use that information. So accessibility. So what barriers are there that restrict people from experiencing the game? Controls and difficulty is the main thing we talk about here, but I think with yours it's very much the that visual representation. Would you're automatically gonna kind of cut out people with photosensitivity from playing your game? That might be something you're happy to do. Like if you put a warning, I mean it's totally reasonable because I think it's the mechanic of your game, right? So it'd be difficult to do in the same way. But yeah, so with that aside, it is a bit unpleasant with all of the trippiness, but again, that is your style. So yeah, it's tricky to know, like, would someone want to play in that weird environment for long? It feels like it'd be a cool subsection in like in a game, in a bigger game. I'm thinking something like Max Payne, if anyone remembers the old game, where you go into this kind of sub level where I think you get killed or you get shot or something, and then you're kind of like running in a dream and you're following these paths and there's like baby crying noises around you and stuff like that. So I'm wondering, like, could this kind of mechanic be like something inside of another game as a mini game that you need to beat in order to get through to the next part of the game? Because that way it kind of limits the amount of time that you're in this weird kind of environment. However, at the same time, I think this weird environment is good. If it could last longer if it was maybe toned back a little bit in terms of the intensity. But your kind of multi-dimensional puzzles, the changing sizes, the things warping, I like that you could jump on the different walls and kind of the same room that you were in earlier is now a different room, yet the same. Things like that were really nice, and so it definitely has potential to be something that's quite a satisfying puzzle game. But I don't know how complicated the level design will become in a game that takes multiple dimensions in that way. But yeah, cool. So some feedback we had from chat. Assuming it's Portal renderer, it's very clean. What's Portal renderer, by the way, Maestran? Sorry, is that like a? I'll let you answer rather than guess. So, Geku, you were saying you're trying to create something weird and unusual mechanics. It's very important for me when a player says to themselves, "What the flip? How could it be possible?" Like I did. Yeah, well, that's fair then. I think a game is an expression. Game development can be like an expressive, creative form, right? And if you want to invoke feelings or like emotions or as you said, that WTF sort of feeling in people, then I think that's a perfectly fine objective for a game as well. I didn't really get stuck. The one, I think there were some times where I didn't. There was once I think where I didn't. I heard the noise of the pill, but I didn't really realize that I'd had it. So yeah, but other than that, it was quite clear. I've connected something. I've collected something. So now something will have changed. And the pathing through, I didn't feel that there was a barrier there with difficulty. It was pretty well done. So the gameplay loop, I don't know whether this is so much something that would have a loop. This is more of a you play through it once and it's an experience, right? So I think people would play it for that reason. If you're looking to sell your game, that can sometimes come into when you're thinking of how to price your game. If it's going to be a one-off experience that lasts 20 minutes versus a game that you can repeatedly play for days, it's not to say that one should. The time you play doesn't equate to the cost of the game, but it is something to consider, I guess, if it's a kind of play once sort of game. However, if there could be some, I don't think it'd be a very easy problem to solve. But if there could be some procedural elements to it, while still maintaining that kind of weirdness to it, I think that could make it more interesting to replay. You can ask whatever you want, Geku. Now I'll come back to your questions you ask. I'll just go into audio and visual then. Audio was cool. I like the weird little sound clips that came up sometimes, especially when I went up to the painting, and this one when I was going down a corridor, there was like a round of applause. I think it just added to that like weirdness rather than making exact sense. But I think the purpose of your style here was really not to make sense or almost to kind of go beyond normal reality. So from that perspective, it was fine. In terms of the art, well, I guess the main thing that you have is one thing I'll comment on that beside the obvious of all the shaders and that you're using is I did kind of like the use of kind of like these videos and kind of well-known or recognizable kind of pictures on walls and stuff. I think that added a bit more interest to it, especially the animated ones. Yeah, I thought that was a little bit of an interesting thing in there. But if we were to talk about the shaders and everything, though, the shaders, yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take on. Whether you need all of them to be as weird as that all the time, I don't know. I'm not saying you've done it wrong. I have no clue. But it'd be interesting to see if you were to try and like do different levels of it and have people play it and see do they still have that feeling of WTF without you forcing it straight into their face with the very first thing they see in the game. Even if you could progressively build it up, that could be interesting as well. Because at the moment, it feels like you're just throwing as much weird as you can on screen to the person on the first view that they see. And whilst that sets the tone very quick, it can also be a bit overwhelming for some people. So you were saying that the all-seeing eye, the Illuminati thingamajiggy I said, yeah, you can change your gravity according to its angular position. So is that like based on which way it's looking, that will then become your floor? I think that's what you mean, right? Okay, next experience then. So the next question, sorry, player experience. Is the game fun or engaging? Is it original? Is it innovative? Yes. Okay, so the fun, it's not conventional fun, right? Because it was more of a just like try and work. You're just collecting orbs, but it can feel. I think the better word for it is it's kind of like it's satisfying. Is that like, oh, now when I go back, that area that I expected to be like that is not like that anymore. I think that's nice. It's and that creates original kind of feelings and evokes certain emotions in people as well. So I think despite it not being like your typical arcadey fun sort of thing, at the same time you're exploring a different way that people can enjoy and experience games as well. So I wouldn't say that there's an issue with that. You just need to think about the what will keep people playing it, because that's an element of engagement. And would people be happy doing that same thing for long, or would you need to start to think of different mechanics but along that kind of same theme? That's something for you to have a ponder about, I guess, with where you want to take this. But yeah, innovative in terms of I guess the general mechanic of going and collecting things isn't too innovative, but the way that the world changes around you each time that you collect one of the pills, I think that was pretty original and implemented well as well, in fairness. And then finally, future development. So here's a strength improvement. Who'd be interested in playing the game? Yeah, I think this one's hard to answer without knowing exactly what your scope is for your further development on this. I think you do have that risk, as Halsey said earlier, and I've said as well. You have that risk of putting off a lot of people just by that immediate like over saturation of like shader weirdness. So yeah, it's you don't have to change that, but it's that choice between, do I try and like tone it down a bit and dial it up in small doses to appeal to a broader audience, or do I just stick with this and kind of appeal to those who are willing to play it for the weirdness, if you will, as well. The game link, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't give out game link to the first game either, so I'll get on that now. Apologies for the delay, for not handing out the link to the Lovecrafting game as well. So let's go ahead and get the Lovecrafting game. Well, first off, the game we just played was this, and then previously today we did play this game too. Thank you for asking, Anakin. Yeah, so do you have any idea, Gecko, in like how do you see this? What do you want to do with this? What's the next steps for you? Do you plan to make it longer? Do you plan to have any story element to it? Is there a way to like overcome it, to get better and find some stability? I'd be interested in hearing if you have any answers on that. But otherwise, that is Take Your Meds, Darling by Geku1337. We're going to be playing one more game today, and that game is going to be called Hardwork Simulator. This is a web-based browser game, so you're welcome to check this out as well, chat. We will be having a look. I don't think the dev is in chat. Do feel free to say hi if you are in chat. Tiago. But yeah, we'll be playing this one next. I'll just give Gecko a moment in case there's anything else that he wanted to, or she wanted to add. Ah, Tiago, you are here. Hello there. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming along from the stream. Good to see you. Good. So we will be playing Hardwork Simulator in just a moment now. All right, let's switch back to the other screen then, shall we? Okie dokie. It's so nice. No need to thank. I enjoy checking out other people's ideas, and it's always nice to meet new people who are developers as well, especially who are trying to do it off their own back. You know, it's nice to meet people. So Geku says, thank you for the feedback. I agree with you. I have changed every shader in and main mechanics. Stay tuned. Soon I will release a first new release. Clearly, I don't know exactly what I want to do with this project. No, that's fine though. You know, sometimes it does go that way. But it's nice to see that you are kind of what's the right word? Iterating, I guess, over your idea, and it'd be interesting to see how much of that core game sticks throughout, or whether you just kind of go for kind of a multi-dimensional puzzler with the non-Euclidean kind of exploration. That would be interesting in its own right. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Feel free to keep us posted in the future. And if you do end up getting to a point where you want to release the game, maybe you're welcome to come back and probably submit it again, providing you're significantly different from what I've just played now. But brilliant. Okay, well, thank you very much. So the next game then we're playing is by Tiago, who's in the chat. I've dropped the link already, and this is what we're looking at. Quite a difference in brightness for different reasons here. So this again was made for LD49, apologies, for the theme Unstable. Hardwork Simulator is the perfect game for you to play at work or the university computer or any other time you just want to have fun playing a game while everyone else thinks you're working hard as hell. Sounds fun, right? But not everything will be fun. Angry stickmen try to unmask you while you smash your keyboard trying to reach the end of the document. Prevent that the mouse pointers thrown by the stickmen hit your text. And try not to make the text editor too unstable or you'll face the blue screen of death. Okay, cool. Let's give this a go. It looks like there's a boss and everything involved. This would be interesting. So if there's anything we need to know before we get started, do feel free to say in chat. Anyone who wants to play along, there's a link a few lines up in chat. And here we go. We are in Hardwork Simulator. Look at this. Look at this. I kind of like these crudely drawn paint symbols. So, oh, I just pressed shift. What's it doing? What? Oh, okay. I was expecting to type what I want, but this is okay. Your text editor doesn't seem to be working as it should. It's kind of unstable, right? But do not worry. I'm the one doing this for your own benefit. You've already noticed how things work. You can press random keys as fast as you can, and I'll take care of making a very elegant text for you. Press Ctrl, Alt, Left, Right to change the number of letters typed per key pressed. Okay. Doesn't that move your window? No, it's Windows, isn't it, that does that? So, Ctrl, Alt, Right. Oh yeah, so now it's doing like a words. Did this make you feel good, right? A feeling of having fingers faster than the eye can see. And that's exactly... I like typing more letters. I'm going to go back. And that's exactly why I'm here. I guarantee you that by the end of the day, something spectacular will happen to you. Maybe you'll finally get called into that informal meeting with the big guys. I can't promise you anything. But maybe you'll even get a promotion. Don't take my word for it. See what happened to another mediocre worker after a single day of hard work. To do. Post a funny review from some player. Context. Okay. Very fast typer. So Tiago was saying, when the theme Unstable was announced, I immediately thought of the blue screen of death and decided to go into the direction of an unstable Microsoft Word. Interesting. Dan, can you hold a single key down? No. So it's on key down, I guess. Oh boy, you are on fire. Don't look now. But your boss is spying on you from behind the curtain in his office while he's talking on the phone. Maybe he's talking to the director about the possibility of calling you to that beach house until today. Only that sucker in finance was invited. Keep up the good work. Damn it. That little... Oh, wow. Look at him just hanging out at the bottom. That little guy down there just discovered us. I won't lie to you. We're in big trouble. He's trying to get to people's attention around you. He's also going to... so when he throws the arrow up, it takes a bit off the sentence. He's also going to throw mouse pointers at us. Under no circumstance, let one of these reach our text. Press space to shoot the last letter of the text. Hit the mouse pointer. Okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I can time it and then I can drop it. Oh, did it drop it? Oh, maybe I got to click back on it. Waves. Uh-oh. Okay, so I've got to tap it. If I just press it once. Oh, because obviously you could type with it, I guess, as well. Okay, so we need to get across to here, and then we can drop T onto that. That was nice. Yeah. Okay. Go, 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 go. Go. Yeah, finish him. The dude having fun down there. There we go. We pinned him down for a bit. And you, get out of town. Take that as well. Okay. So I'm going to create some random text so you can focus on the task. Type as fast as you can and keep the pointers away. Now we will need to reach conclusion at any cost. Not everything is earned through hard work. Some people, oh crikey, he's running around, are privileged to be born into a family with money. They can afford expensive clothing, the latest gadgets, the finest of foods. Others are not so lucky. The latest study showed that kids raised by rich parents are more likely to become rich themselves than kids raised in poverty. For every 4 steps under the income ladder, there's a 3-fold increase in odds of getting ahead. It'd be interesting if the story changed to be like more like scary or like negative the more times you got hit. So the sentence that it knocks off would come back with a more like negative version of it. So you make a happier story by playing well. The conclusion is simple. Oh, we need to get rid of some of these now, don't we? Oh no. Oh, we're in a bit of a pickle. Let's we need more letters. Oh no. Oh no. Oh gosh. We got the blue screen. A problem has been detected in hardware simulators. Shut down program damage to your computer. The problem seems to be caused by this. Angry stickman, that's this. Letters dropped not less or equal. If this is the first time you've seen this error screen, press Ctrl-Alt-R to restart your simulator and give any excuse to your co-workers. If you're on the Steam version, try hack the text file on your own. If the screen appears again, follow these steps. Oh, it's Ctrl-Alt-R, refresh. I don't, or not, I'm not sure. Make sure you're hitting the mouse cursors before they hit the text. Oh, you're giving help here, yeah. Grab your stuff and go to the HR department. Disable any hopes of promotion and progression at work. If you need to use safe mode, just work hard for real. Remove hardware simulator from your computer. Restart and open a real text editor. And then you're in safe mode. That's great. Hello there, Sparky. Lovely to see you. Alright, Control Alt-R or Shift-R? Alt-R. Okay, we're back again. Alright, so your text editor doesn't seem to be working as it should. It's unstable. Alright, okay, we read a bit of this earlier, so we're just gonna... we're gonna smash on with this and catch up with where we were earlier. Woohoo! I am on fire. Okay, so there we go. He's discovered us. We're going to take care of him, and we got to get to the outcome, right? Yeah, on the head. Okay, let's go across here. Drop. Yeah. 3-fold. Okay, so the conclusion is simple. Hard work doesn't pay off for everyone. Try not to lose too many letters. If we lose the limit shown above the footnote, the system... Ah, I didn't even notice that. Letters dropped 16. Okay. Discussion. Okay, we need to get... Okay. Oh, there's the arrow. Get rid of that arrow. It's funny because I want to keep reading, but... Oh, but when we drop the letters, yeah, that's adding to that quantity as well. But dropping a few is better than dropping like the 6 or whatever we drop when we get hit. And also we kill them, right? Oh my words. I'm almost at that point where I'm gonna... Oh wow, it's going slow now. No! Oh no. Oh no, it's happened again. You can see the letters drop. It's got to the full blue bar at the bottom. Damn it. We lost again. We lost. How dare. I'd also like, do these work? It'd be great if there was like Easter eggs that some of this would work. Yeah, it does seem a little difficult. This better work. Yeah, of course that works. That's great. Oh, I did have this open ready to link as well. Apologies, I was meant to do that earlier. So yeah, there's a link. It's due to come out in a little over a week as well. So if you're interested in having a peep at it, then you can go ahead and do so there. Let me, we'll give it one more go, but I will read what has been written in chat before then. Now it's just random text auto-generated. Oh, what, the text that goes into the document. Yeah. I don't think you should make it so that you can hold a key so it auto puts everything in. I think it's best not to. Yeah, letters collide. So I'd imagine that it looks what the last letter is and then creates like an actor, which is like a sprite with that letter in it, and then that goes into like a 2D thing with the collision thing around it. I'd imagine something like that. Although the game started as a joke and it has huge flaws because it was made alone in 48 hours. I got nice feedback and got a good grade in innovation category, so I decided to bring it to Steam. Oh, good on you. I've never released a game on Steam. It's something that is on my to-do list that I really should be sorting, but I haven't done it because I'm a failure. Oh, so also anyone who's missed start of the stream and wants to see more of it, you can catch the videos being posted on the YouTube. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers soon, so I can get the more healthy link rather than that massive ugly link that you see at the bottom of chat at the moment. So yeah, if you are interested in game dev content, we do interviews, feedback streams, game jams and things like that, and tutorials in Unreal Engine, then do feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. It would help support me, and if it's stuff you're interested in, it gives you some cool stuff to watch on YouTube as well. But yeah, you did also say about Easter eggs. For Easter eggs, I didn't realize how to save a text file on the web build, so I decided to keep the development active only for the PC version. Right, okay, I mean that's totally fine as well if you're looking to release it. I worked on all the code and now the whole game is customizable by changing the TXT file. I mean, not only the text, but all of the events are customizable by the player. What do you mean by changing the .text file? Do you mean this file? You can do stuff in this file to customize it? Is that what you mean? All right, let's give this one more go. Uh-oh. Okay, let's try and restart it again. Okay, introduction. We've done this bit again, so we're just going to spam this through. Hope you're enjoying the keyboard mashing. Play with this side on the text, that'll be... Oh, so when they write... Oh, so will it be the actual letters that they write? Or will it be you choose a kind of preset of things that are going to be the auto-generated text? Okay, right. I think the key is to kind of go as fast as we can and not worry about the rest until... Damn it. Oh no, I missed. Okay, that was lucky. Okay, good, we got that one. Okay, one's coming up here. Oh, got hit by another one. Oh, and again. Okay, good. That'll help us. Oh, a discussion. Thank you very much, Alicia Griffin, for the sub. Everything is fine. There's no fire here. Come on. Yes, okay, we stopped one, but yeah, it's a bit tricky. So I feel like I'm going to just try and type as fast as I can. Oh man, it also gets very laggy with all these pointers. Yeah, I'm not going to do it, sadly. It's time to lose again. I'm interested what the end is. So I imagine, oh, letters typed. I've got to get to that end of the blue bar at the bottom. Yeah, that's going to be quite difficult. Oh, okay, I get you, Tiago. So what, you could copy into a text file and it'll read from that to do the writing out. Now, that's funny. Elisha Griffin, thank you very much for the subscription. 43 months. And all I got was this lousy ring. Huh? How good to see you. Did you have a good stream today? Yeah, no, that sounds a good idea, Tiago, as well. It'd be nice in a way. I'm just imagining like you could write up a funny document to go with it. It'd be like a weird way of sending a message to a friend, right? If you write a weird like letter to someone and then they've got to read it through playing this as well. But yeah, I guess like a map. That's a weird way of having a map editor, I guess, right? You can thank her in person with a cuppa. Well, I did go to the store and buy her some decaf tea earlier because she ran out. She doesn't have tea after midday because it affects her, but me, I don't really care. But I went out and I got her one, so yes, I can make her a cuppa after stream. Imagine it as a joke between co-workers, indeed. So what's your view on trying to sell this then, Tiago? Like, are you looking at what sort of price are you considering? And also, have you got any idea how you're hoping people to find your game? Or is it more of a case of you just want to put it as on Steam so it's there in history and you don't really care if it sells much? Be interested to hear your view on that. And in the meantime then, let's move over to our new scene. And let's ask some questions. We'll keep the blue screen of death up in the background, shall we? Yeah, so let's have a think on some of these questions. For accessibility, are there barriers that restricts the player from experiencing the game? Controls the difficulty. In this version of the game, difficulty, it got far too hard. And I felt like like you saw what I was doing in the end. I felt I might as well just run through it as fast as I can in hope that I don't get caught up. But I think reflecting back on it now, I imagine the cursors probably spawn one per line. So if I took them out each time, I probably might have been able to get further. However, if it's time-based or random, how often the cursors spawn, then it feels a little imbalanced and I'm probably in a better position to just rush through and hope that I'm successful that way. But yeah, the difficulty was a little bit of an issue. Anyone who wants to give any feedback on the game as well, now is a great time to do so. Other than that, though, yeah, controls were fine. You can't really complain. It was very linear in terms of you just type, right, and you press space. One thing that did get me, I guess, a little bit was if I pressed space once, it didn't drop a key. I kind of had to press it twice, I think. Whether that's because you want people to press space when they're typing, that's fine. But maybe, I don't know whether you change what key is to drop then. Yeah, I'm not too sure. But I feel it should be responsive, that if you press space, it should drop instantly. Elisha played it during LD. I think you played the Lovecraftian game as well that I played earlier, called Lovecrafting, right? Okay, next then, gameplay. What is the gameplay loop? Why play your game? What's the challenge, balance, variance, and choice? Well, let's be fair, like your game is very, very unique and not a typical game with the gameplay loop where you're expecting players to replay it or have a bunch of different levels in difficulty or, you know, having to design enemies and that. As much as you have elements of those, it's quite a niche little game, right? So, oh, it was dropping an empty space. Maybe that's what it was. That's a good point, actually. But still something to consider. Maybe it's just something the player needs to get over, actually. So in terms of why would people want to play a game, I think we touched on this earlier. It feels like something that'd be like a bit of fun to play through. right? It's just like a silly game um, as a playthrough once, and the fact that you could change the text and maybe like send it over to a friend with that custom text to play, that would be interesting. I don't know if it's going to be possible to actually implement that sort of thing. However, I do think it's cool. I think it's a fun, silly idea. It's basically like a joke, just with some gamification of it. And yeah, I enjoyed my little time with it. It's not something that I would then go and play again later. But I'm not too sure that you want it to be a full-fledged game of that nature, you know? So I think that is fine. This level is based on time, but you can customize it as a time-based or a spawn stickman every line. Yeah, that's cool. So having things like per line, giving players more control over knowing like when the next enemies will spawn, because that'll help them, you know, shall I stop and wait for the arrow to come across and then drop a key, or shall I keep writing and go to the next line to catch it up? Because like time sensitive, you want to go to the next line, but if it's per line you get something new bad, then you probably want to wait. So having a bit of information about that. You could even have like next enemy spawns when, and you have like a dynamic condition that changes each time. So it might say new line, and then after you've spawned that next enemy, it changes to be in 30 seconds. And you might have different spawn conditions as well. So, or like you could actually change it to be real typing for a bit, and you know any typing mistake would cause an enemy to spawn. I'm just trying to think on my feet for like ideas of what would cause the enemies to spawn. But at least that gives the player like a bit more of a gamification of like, I can make decisions that are the optimal decisions, so I feel good as a player. Those sort of things can add quite a lot of feel good and replayability to a game. Okay, what is the gameplay loop? That's what we were addressing there. Next is the audio visual. The overall quality of the art and the audio assets. Is audio being used creatively? I don't think like audio particularly is being used creatively. It's been used fine. Don't get me wrong. What I mean by creative, as I alluded to earlier, is that you use it to communicate, not just like have sounds when things happen, but it's like an extra way to kind of play and find things out in the game. But that's not, it doesn't suit every game. It doesn't need to be in every game. It's just something we like to try and talk about. But the quality of the art and the assets, I think for the type of game it is perfectly fine. You know, if you want to try and make it look even more hyper realistic, you could quite easily as well. You could do that, but I think for the nature of your game, where it's a bit of a jokey game, I think that it is fine. Like to stay like this, to be a little bit crude, the way that you drew the little Windows menu, for example. There we go. The way that you did this menu up the top, you know, with the little like manually drawn little things. Right, I think that it's cool. It's fun that way. So yeah, you probably don't need to change it. There wasn't much audio to really give feedback on, so I won't spend time on that. So the playing experience, is it fun and engaging? Is it original experience? Like it is innovative in terms of like the idea of like dropping the keys that you're writing in a document. You're meant to like spam type to fill out the page. I like that there's a story. Like this is meant to be some simulating software to make it look like you're working hard when you're not. I think that's quite fun. But the idea of timing how much you've typed and using that as an attack mechanism was innovative. Yes, it was. It's fun because it's funny and silly, rather than the mechanics being super fun itself. Because realistically, all you're doing is dropping in a line below your last character, right? And there's no extra options. It feels like maybe if you pressed return, it would do like a page break or something, and you could only use so much of them, and that would like shake the page down and give you. That's basically like a bomb. If you try and think of this as like a top-down shoot 'em up that you see, you know, you have your normal firing, and then they have like a screen clear ability for when you get overwhelmed. Something like that could work with this, where, you know, if you press Control and Enter, which I think does a page break in a normal Word document, then that would create a page break which shifts things down. Whether or not that works for the kind of text document you're writing, I'm not too sure. Or maybe it could be based on how much you've written. You get to a certain amount of content and it's like, right, new page, you've earned a page break, and then you can, when you use it, you can try and spend some time to take out some things maybe. But yeah, it's difficult because the amount you've written is directly tied to getting to the end of the page, plus to fire you need to unwrite some, so it's not quite as easy as I'm describing. But yeah, what's the Theorem, a little puzzle game? Is that on Steam then, is it? So yeah, if anyone's interested in that, feel free to take one of those keys in chat. Thank you, Geku. Okay, and fine. I'll drop a link to the Steam page so people can see what they're redeeming as well. So the final thing is areas of strength, areas for improvement. Who'd be interested in playing a game? I think we've talked over most of these. So I guess I'd invite you in this bit then, Tiago, to like, what have you? Is there anything extra that you have put in the game that you're going to try and put on, that you are putting on Steam? Sorry, or is it more of just a polished version of this with a little bit of customization? But yeah, it was good, silly fun though, really. I like how in file you have the wish list on Steam. Oh, if I pressed quit, so it's probably, and because I'm playing in browser, it probably just doesn't know. That's what happened last time, I think. I will just launch this with the customization, yeah. So I just, yeah, think about balance and that. It depends how much you want to approach it. If you want to work on it more, or you just want to kind of just get it on Steam and then move on. But if you're looking to try and make it like a little bit more playable for people, to have a bit more to get out of their money, I think, yeah, having a bit more of a balanced, trying to design a way where you can have like the enemy spawning and the way to clear enemies be something that the player's a bit more in control of, that they can make decisions that feel meaningful, that they can read the state of things and go like, oh, okay, if I stop now, this is going to be good because it gives me time to do XYZ, rather than if I just keep spamming the keys, then I would have got overwhelmed. Something along those lines. But yeah. Cool. Well, if anyone else has got any feedback, do feel free to drop a message in the chat. But otherwise, you can check out the version I just played there, and it'll be on Steam. I'll drop the link again in chat. Here it is. For anyone who'd be interested in supporting it when it does come out on the 18th of November. I'll probably launch and move on, but I'll think about, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I definitely feel that some games definitely have a limited energy cycle and how much time you want to invest in it, especially the scope of this. It doesn't feel like it could be extended out massively. So I think you're right to kind of work on, think of like just kind of get it out there and then move on to a new project. It was fun to have you here as well, Geku. Thank you very much. You have a good rest of your day. It was nice to have you here. Okay, so we are done with our feedback then. We've got through 3 games today. Thank you, people, for submitting it. We've got a couple of games to check out next time. So the next stream for feedback will be in 2 weeks' time. So that will be on the 22nd of this month. We've got one game by Gaming Steph, which looks like this. Let's just get a little preview of this, shall we? Ooh, this looks fancy. If your enemies outnumber you. Ooh, nice. Okay. Crikey, it looks like a lot of death at the moment. But it feels... Is it kind of like parkouring on ships? Okay, so you jump onto the ships and then you change what side they're shooting on? And you... I like how there's some weird like dancing animation, like the break dancing on him. Okay, so you take over the ship, you reposition it. Oh man, this looks stressful but great at the same time. Quite an original concept, actually. So this is one that we'll probably look at checking out in 2 weeks' time. And then there's one more as well on this list, which was a game by Dante. We played Dante's game for LD, which was really good, actually. But this was a game by Dante. He felt that he released it, but he didn't feel it was very successful. So he'd like some kind of feedback on it, what I thought of it, and so that it can feed into kind of improving his next kind of adventure in developing a game, or perhaps to rework this one, but more likely to go into a future project. So yeah, we again, it looks like quite a decently developed game. Like it looks pretty full-fledged. Is it puzzle game by the looks of it? Okay, so that was one thing. It looks like that you've got a party. You're kind of making them stronger, equipping different items. I don't know what all the different stats do at the moment, but yeah, it be interesting to check out in a couple of weeks. Anyway, it looks like we've got 2 full-fledged or pretty deep games, so we'll probably just do 2 games next time. Oh, did I miss a comment earlier as well? By Geku. This game is a joke, but the physics is great. Well done for a game which has been made in less than 48 hours. I follow. Good. Thank you, Geku. So nice to have people, the developers in chat as well today. It's been really nice, nice people, and it was good that people came along for the stream and checked out the other games made by other people as well. But yeah, they're the 2 games that we're going to be checking out next time. I'll just drop links to them if you're interested in checking them out, and that'll be 2 weeks from today. So on the 22nd of November. Next week, we have a interview lined up. If I remember correctly, we are going to be chatting with First Crimson on the 15th. So First Crimson released their game Suit for Hire quite recently. They're still working and releasing stuff for it now. But we'll be checking that out on Monday, a week today. Having a chat with First Crimson. They stream on Twitch under that username, so feel free to look them up. And then playing their game for an hour or so afterwards as well. And then right at the end of the month on the 29th, we'll be catching up with Anderson Kev, who is releasing Hop Legs anytime now. I think it's in the next week or so it comes out. And so yeah, we'll be catching up with Anderson Kev and playing Hop Legs. And I got a feeling I'm going to struggle on that one. But right, okay, cool. Let's find someone to raid then. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here.